Uber arc has been building over the years. I've been watching it. Got Invasion. Now he gets Osborn and going beyond that. I've been wondering more and more, how long ago did you know you were going to write this massive arc? And what was, like, how detailed did you have to get it for Marvel to take it?
Well, you know, here's what happens. I wrote down scrolls. Little and the first document, I handed them about Avengers. That this was when I was at first I thought there was no events. Events wasn't part of the crossovers and stuff. Wasn't part of a landscape, so I didn't worry about it. I was just going new Avengers. I want it to be a superhero conspiracy thriller. They're hiding. They don't know what they're hiding from, and the second page is a scroll, and we won't know it until we're ready to unveil it. But so what you have to do is, this is the story I'm going to tell, but you got to leave enough of it open so as the world turns. But it's like real life. You have a way you want your life to go, but you also have to be ready to meet someone new, to fall in love, to have a kid, whatever it is that changes the course of your life. You're still headed towards your goal, but things will change as it goes. So you have to be ready. All the pieces absolutely happen as I wanted them to happen, but in what format they came to you as. Like the Dark Avengers, like like Mighty Avengers could have been Dark Avengers. You know what I mean? We could have just kept it Mighty Avengers, but now Norman's in charge of it. But you know, the Dark Reign got it said. Like of all the things I said, this is the part Joe was most excited about. Like Skrulls was just a way to get to Norman Osborn in charge. But what I wrote was the line I wrote. All I said for Dark Reign is everyone in the Marvel Universe is Peter Parker. Even when you win, you lose. And Peter Parker can handle it. Because he's that kind of guy. Luke Cage, not so much. You know, Clint Barton, not so much. I would like to write that story. I would like to write the story where everyone has to take it on the chin and see how far they're willing to go to not have to do it. We'll do a couple more and then we'll get to the signings.
Peter's Hair Ultimate Spider-Man, the series, I guess. How did it come about? Did you have anything to do with that? Getting it cut?
Oh, about getting a cut? Yeah, that was written in the script. I rarely react to internet complaints because you just can't go down that road. You'll never win. But in this instance, I happen to agree with it because there was I think David LaFuente is one of the great finds of the 21st century. I think he's amazing. But the hair was getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and it was getting into 80s territory, and it was looking a little bunny ears-ish, and then he would draw the head rounder to compensate for the hair. So and it was very, very cute. He doesn't speak a lot of English. So at first I tried to write in the script, hey, take it down a little bit, you know. And it was just getting, I just don't think he was hearing me. So I go,
he needs more hair.
I'm going to have to write the scene, which I thought was funny, if all the girls in his life sit him down and I remembered a scene in my life in high school where the girls in my life sat me down and talked me out of something I was doing with my hair that I thought was making me look like Sting, but in fact was not. So I used that little bit of chewiness, and I wrote the scene almost as it happened to me, and then so logically the artist cut the hair and then reshaped the hair. So I thought, here it goes. Oh, right.
Okay, let's talk about Thunderbolts for a second. Who's on the team and why did you pick them to be on the team?
Take too long to explain the process, but the team is Moonstone is back. Everybody gives her way more chances than she probably deserves.
I like her.
Yeah, I like her. Juggernaut, as I mentioned. Ghost is the only one staying on from the last incarnation. He was all through the siege. He actually helped them contribute to everything, even though he tried to kill Tony Stark. Crossbones, controversial choice, considering he shot Captain America, but hey, he's Crossbones. Good news. He looks cool with that skull on his face. And the one that everybody just, I think, will pick the book up for because they're most fascinated by is Man-Thing. Because when has Man-Thing ever been in a big book?
Stark Avengers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cut him in half.
I know. We put him back together and got him going again. And it's just, when you see that situation, I think Man-Thing will make a lot of sense to you. And there's a returning Thunderbolts who kind of graduated, like Songbird, Mach 5 now instead of Mach 4 in the Fixer. So they're actually Wrath prison staff who work with. Luke's whole thing is he's kind of like us trying to run around. Oh, I don't work for Disney. I work for Marvel. You know, he works for the Thunderbolts, and he doesn't want to be considered a prison staffer or anything like that. Even though he has to work closely with them, and he can pull out somebody if he really needs someone to work or something. And there's someone with specialized skills, they can get jerked along and everything. And everybody wants to just get out of their cell. So almost anybody's going to say yes if they say you can come out, even if it takes no time off your sentence. At least you're not in this cell for a while. So.
But don't be fooled. Man-Thing is in the team, so he can make a bunch of cheap Man-Thing jokes.
Well, I've never heard a Man-Thing joke before. I don't know what kind of...
Well, I'll tell you, you know what? Mark Drago, the writer of Manhunter and co-creator of Torso, the first day we ever met him was at Chicago Con, like a million years ago, and none of us knew him. He walked up to all of us with a giant-sized Man-Thing, put it in his crotch, thrust it at us, and go, "Will you sign my giant-sized Man-Thing?" And he laughed every time he did it. He thought it was a funny show. And
I bet he thought he was the first person who came up with it.
He was the first person to really stick with it for a whole weekend. You know, so.
We always go through the same do of Marvel dirty jokes. It's like, hey, they're going to do a Marvel 2-in-1 and get some Marvel triple action and all that sort of thing. Yeah. You don't have an Iron Man, but sure.
I'm an Iron Man.
I'm a big X-Men fan. I have like a 30-year collection. And I stopped collecting the Avengers, but I got back into the Avengers because of your writing.
Thank you.
And based on that, I just want to throw out an idea as a reader. I was thinking it would be a really good idea to maybe see some back history with Wolverine and Miss Marvel, Carol Danvers, because that's like something that hasn't ever really been explored before.
You are absolutely right, and I agree with you. And it's one of those things that's been on my notebook. He has to get to pick our artist. Sometimes, and a lot of the times, you know, it's Tom Reaper has said publicly, you don't want to team people up that don't want to work together because it won't work.
Yeah, we can mostly know an artist.
Yeah, and so a lot of times, you know, you'll just find each other and you work together, and then you know, the worst part of it is when you're working out well with someone, but you're only supposed to work together for 8 months, and then they go and they're already set for the next thing, but you guys are kind of dating. It almost feels like you're dating. And things are going really well, and then the date is over, and then and then it feels like I'm watching Mark Millar make out with my girlfriend.
I had a friend named Tom Pear. He was a goof in a comic book. How much fun do you have with bullies, enemies, friends, making their personas, like integrating them into your comic book?
Do we use our work for revenge on our personal life?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Not only.
No images or names in this comic book will reflect any.
Not since Nick Hornsby has a man gotten more revenge on ex-girlfriends than myself. I'm telling you, I am king of the whatever I felt I didn't get to say to you, I'm going to say it right here. And I'm going to say it again and again. And again. All right, I guess we should sign. Guys, before we start, I want to thank you now for coming down because it's awesome that you came down.